All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sehgal show, where we interview some unstoppable entrepreneurs who are dominating figures in their businesses. Sahil here, back again with an awesome, insane guest and episode. Our today's guest is one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world. I had a fanboy moment when I met him at FHL 2 years ago, 2021. I'm sure most of you guys already know about him. We are going to interview Dan Henry on our show today. Now, talking about Dan and his achievements, one tag is not enough for him, first of all, not at all. You can call him a course creator, a coach, agency owner, an author, speaker, YouTuber, podcast host, high ticket expert, and whatnot. He has literally done everything you can think of at some point in his journey, whether it's webinars, paid ads, selling from stages, challenges, organic marketing, and the list goes on and on. Not only that, he's a Wall Street Journal best-selling author of Digital Millionaire Secrets, professional speaker, founder of multiple million-dollar companies, including GetClients.com, the CRO and co-founder of CloseDeals.com. He has been featured in Forbes Entrepreneur magazines, Business Insider, and more. He has generated over $30 million in revenue in his business. Without wasting any further ado, let's welcome Dan Henry to our show today. What's up, everyone? This is Sahil here, and welcome to the Sehgal Show, where I'm gonna be interviewing some crazy entrepreneurs out there who started from scratch with no experience, resources, and connections, and then later on became unstoppable and dominating figures in their respective businesses. We're gonna dive deep into the mindset of these super successful entrepreneurs to find out how they did it and how you can model it too. It's time to pick their brains and uncover all the strategies and tactics which these entrepreneurs use to scale their businesses from nowhere to multiple 6, 7, and 8 figures. Welcome to the Sehgal Show.
Hey man, that's a nice intro. It makes me sound like I might know what I'm doing.
Took me 30 minutes to make that intro, man.
Oh man.
It's a pleasure, man. An honor to have you. And you
Yeah,
don't know, Dan. Sorry, you go ahead.
glad to be here, man. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. I want to give some credits before we start, man. Like, you don't know indirectly, virtually, how much money I have made just by implementing some of the concepts that you teach, like selling through whiteboard webinars, your pre selling strategy. I have used it in all my masterclass workshop challenges, raising your price challenge I attended at that time. And I think
Awesome.
that was the first time I had my first $10,000 day. I implemented that, raised my price. And again, a lot of stuff, the stuff that we learned from the books as well. And there's an interesting story when I was starting my coaching business, my first one-on-one client, I was keeping your Digital Millionaire Secrets book on that side just to design their RMS statement. I still remember that day. I was literally taking the words out of that book and teaching it to them. So thanks a lot.
You should take the new book, The Pocket Guide to High Ticket Selling, and put it next to your desk when you take sales calls. There
Yes,
you
man.
go. There you go. Already ahead of me. Nice.
Absolutely,
Nice.
man. Absolutely.
Congrats, man.
Thank you for doing this. And your journey is really inspiring, man. So instead of asking you this general question about my backstory, I want to craft this question in a different way. Like, you have cracked major milestones, and obviously all these milestones come into the stages, like when you hit your $10,000 or first 100,000, first million, and so on. I want you to throw some light on those major milestones in your journey, and what was your why behind those milestones when you were running after them?
You mean like what was my why behind why I wanted to make so much money? Is that
Like
the
when you were
idea?
crushing all the milestones that you were having, like you had your first $10,000. What exactly was the why on when you had your 100,000 or 1 mil?
Why not? Why not? Listen, here's the deal. There's no nobility in poverty. If you're 45 years old and your parents are sick and you can't afford to pay for their medical care, that doesn't make you a nice person. It means that you just didn't do anything worth a shit for 45 years. And look, I mean, if this was 100 years ago, if this was 200 years ago, I could understand. But we live in a world now where if you have a cell phone, you can make $1 million. And there's just no excuse not to anymore. You used to have to strike gold. You used to have to or strike oil or whatever. Now you can just get online, make some videos, say some stuff. And if you know what to say and how to say it, Jim Rohn said, if you want to be successful, you gotta have something good to say and you have to say it well. And if you know what to say and how to say it, you can make all the money you'd ever want. And so I just went really deep into learning how to say words. And it's because I had an experience when I was younger that really brought me that epiphany that words are the most powerful thing in the world. You can literally, wars have been fought and armies have been led and horrible atrocities all the way to massive civil rights movements have happened. All companies have been built all with words. If you say the right words, you can make the world bend to your will. And so what I learned a long time ago was if I could just master words and I could master what I say, I can have whatever I want in life. And my why was when I was a kid, my father told me the story of how he grew up rich. A lot of people don't know this. I don't really talk about this. My father grew up rich. His father was a German scientist who invented the first sound wave gun that the United States Navy uses still today. And he had a lot of money, but then he got throat cancer. Like my dad, like literally grew up on an estate. They had these nice dogs. They went hunting. Like it was this whole thing. And my grandfather, he got throat cancer, and he knew that if it was found out that he had throat cancer, the company that he worked for, where he made all this money, they would let him go. He was a partner, but they would let him go. And so for years, he paid out of his own pocket for medical care. And we all know how disgustingly expensive medical care, unethically expensive medical care is in the United States, and how poor it is. And he literally ran out of money by the time he died. He left my dad with nothing. My dad went out into the world broke and had to figure it out for himself. And when he told me this story, I said, well, I'm going to learn how to make money so that, you can have that life again and I can take care of you. And so my why was I want to take care of my family. And so I bought my mom a house. I bought my dad a house. I pay all their bills. I literally fund their whole life with what I do. And I have enough left over to live a pretty awesome lifestyle. I've got multiple homes in Florida, including a $2 million penthouse. I've got this penthouse in Costa Rica. I have a $1 million beach house in Costa Rica. And I'm not saying that to brag. I say that because, if you learn this skill, if you learn the skill of sales, if you learn how to use words, you can have whatever you want in life, and whatever that is. So that was my why.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, words have power. That's what I came to know, obviously, from your book as well. That's what you said. You can bend the word with your will when you know how to use the words
Yeah.
at the right
Yeah.
time.
And I grew up not popular. I was so bullied in school. I left school. I was pulled out of school to homeschool myself for high school because I was so socially awkward. I was the last person you would think that would know how to articulate my words to where people would listen. And this thing is, a lot of people think you're born a natural salesman. I was not. This is a skill that can be learned.
Hmm.
It is not a talent. It is a skill, and it can be learned, and anyone can learn it.
Yeah, that's a gold nugget out there. People who are watching, that's what it's you don't need to be born with that thing. It's not again a god gifted thing. It's a skill that
Yeah.
you need to, and you
Yeah.
can learn it.
And listen,
Mm.
poor people, you have millions and millionaires. I call poor people minions, right? And the reason minions are minions is because they think like a minion. Millionaires are millionaires because they think like a millionaire. I call it the tag formula. Think, act, get. You want to have the things that a millionaire has, you think like a millionaire. And as a result of thinking like a millionaire, you act like a millionaire. And as a result of acting like a millionaire, you start to do and get the things that millionaires have. But you got to do it in that order and you can't skip it. And so one thing that poor people and minions like to think is, oh, the things rich people have are because of a talent. They were given that. Whatever. And so they don't even try to develop the skills. A rich person, a millionaire, thinks like, oh, I don't have a skill that I need to get what I want. I'll go learn the skill. That's the difference. So you're going to think like a minion, or you're going to think like a millionaire. And that's what you have to decide.
Absolutely right. That makes sense. And man, like you have grown this empire massively with a lean team. That's what, correct me if I'm wrong. Like you don't have 50 to 100 employees working for you when you made this 30 million and more than that dollars. So how did you keep it lean? Like what was the secret behind it, or would you say?
Um,
Was it intentional?
I relentlessly learn shit so I don't constantly have to hire or outsource. And then when I do hire and outsource, I can train. And like, let me give you an example, right? We launched a legacy university over Black Friday. I took all my high ticket programs. I made them $97 a month. 7 days, we did $130,000 in MRR. Currently, because we have like a wait list thing where you get on my wait list, and if you open all my emails, you'll get a secret link to get in, yada, yada. Right now, we are averaging $1,000 per day in new MRR, meaning new monthly recurring revenue. So that's $30,000 per month in new monthly income.
That's without ads.
Without ads. Without
wow.
ads. I have 2 employees. Two. And I literally, in my email sequence, I said, hey, the reason this is $97 when it used to be $10,000 is because I don't want to fucking coach anymore. I'm done. I am done. I am retired. So here's the deal. I give you all the programs. You're going to get no support, and you can have it for, well, we're raising it to $297 a month, but, boom, that's the trade-off. And then like an asshole, I went ahead and decided to offer a monthly coaching session anyway, because I couldn't help myself. So I do a monthly call and answer questions for the program, and I bring in other people. But the point is that I made the pitch clear. You don't get no support. That's why it's cheap. But the reason I did it was because when people buy that, they get to a certain level and then they go work with us at my other company, close deals. So I did it for a reason. I forget what the original question was.
How did you keep that team so lean?
Oh, yeah. Well, because, dude, like, I'm not in this. Look, I was, Sam Ovens. You remember Sam? Yeah. So I was at a mastermind with him once. And he said, if you take more than, and I love Sam, by the way, I just hang out with him. He's an amazing guy. He said, if you take more than 10% profit in your business, you're doing something wrong. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, how much profit do you take? I'm like 80%. And he's like, and that's with me writing off things, Yeah. And he's like, oh, well, do you want to make a lot of money or do you want to grow a big company? I said, I want to make a lot of money. I don't want to grow a big company. I don't want that stress. And he's like, oh, so I've just always approached business from that lens. And that's why I don't have an office anymore. I take my money and I invest in the things to build more wealth. And I just do my thing. And I always figure out ways to make things lean. And then I figure out ways to create products that help other people's businesses go lean. Like all of my products are designed to make you money while saving you a ton of money. So anyway, continue. That was
a good one.
I mean, to ramble.
I remember when I joined your Raise Your Price challenge, I was at job at that time, and I got a chance to talk to you at that time on the Zoom call. And I said, like, how can I quit my job? I don't know if you remember, but you said me that how much you make out of job. I was like, I'd make like $3,000 to $4,000 a month from the job. I was like, that's not even equal to one sale. You can make a $5,000 sale.
Yeah.
You can do it by yourself. You don't need a team. I was thinking that because I was charging like, I think $997 at that time for my coaching. And I was thinking, in order to charge me $5,000, I have to have like 5 coaches on my side, this person doing this and all that.
Prices are bullshit. Prices are made up, right? Like you just make it up, right? And here's why. If you can demonstrate that the cost of not having your solution far outweighs what you charge, then you can charge whatever you want. I remember a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, a couple of years ago, I was literally just randomly like, what would happen if I charged $100,000 for 4 dinners? And I just threw it out there and I'm like, $100,000, 4 dinners, and 4 people bought in a week. Oh, wow. And then I stopped doing it because I didn't want to get fat. But it's ridiculous. With those 4 people, I had one person, she was at $60,000 a month. I had dinner with her and I just told her one thing, and now she makes like $260 a month because she just had one sticking point that nobody, look, let me be honest with you. Most coaches, here's the problem. Most coaches have absolutely no balls. Okay. They want to be nice to their customers. I'm never nice to my customers. And if you don't like that, then buy somebody else's shit. Amy Porterfield and Marie Forleo are right there. Okay. I love them, but they're too nice for me. All right. If you're doing something wrong, I'm going to tell you it's wrong. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to fix it. And I'm not going to care about your feelings because I ain't got time for that shit. And neither should you. Your mortgage company, your mortgage company's not going to call and say, hey, you're late on your mortgage. We're going to take you home. And then you say, oh, but I feel so, I have imposter syndrome. And I just feel, oh, okay. Well, then you can keep your home. Ain't gonna work like that. So why am I gonna do that to you? So I've always just been very direct. And I know a lot of people don't like me for that, but the people that do like me, they get massive results because I just cut through the bullshit and get right to it. So when you're done with all the mamby-pamby stuff and the alignment and the chakras, then you can come to me and I'll teach you how to really make money.
That's brilliant, man. And it's sometimes this hard love is needed, like for people who really want to grow, who just don't want to make excuses and reasons. So I love that part, man. And regarding
if your sales page doesn't convert, you're not going to wake up in the morning and feel a certain way and all of a sudden it's going to convert. You got to do the work regardless of how you feel. Champions are not fearless. They just do it scared. That's the difference.
Right there. Love it, man. And talking about the Legacy University, I don't want to drop the ball off. So I bought that Black Friday offer as well. I'm not sure you opened it. Yes, I saw the story yesterday. You opened
I opened it for 2 hours yesterday, and we did. We had like several hundred people sign up. It's crazy,
right? So it's right now. It's buy and white only again because I have my affiliate link ready. I'm gonna be dropping this in the
dude. I tell you what. What's the name of your show?
The Sehgal Show.
Here, let me do this. How about this? I'll make you a link right now. Oh, wait. Oh, this is live, so maybe not. Why don't you do this? I can't because it's live. But I tell you what, drop your link here. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys. If anybody wants in the Legacy, even though it's closed right now, if you go through Sahil's link, you can get in right now. And it is 97. Next week, it's going to be 297. So you better hurry up. You can get in right now. He'll get credit for it. And there's amazing, if you're a member, there's amazing prizes you can win by referring more people. I don't pay on it because it's such a low ticket thing, but I give massive, like if you refer 100 people, you get a private mastermind at my house, which I would charge you like 50 to 100 grand for. So, but it's free if you refer 100 people. So use his link, help him out. Sehgal, I'd love to have you come to my house. So,
amazing, man. Well, that's appreciated, bro. Definitely, I'm going to be dropping the link in the show notes here after I'm done with the interview. Then definitely people can sign up if you want. And that, again, I have seen the value. Yesterday night, I was opening up and looking at all the things. I was like, Dan is crazy. Like he's given everything for just like $97 a month. Like, we are paying so much.
Well, our offer at Closed Deals is a lot more than that. And when I get you to a certain point, we charge, like, I'm not going to lie to you. We charge a lot at Closed Deals for what we do. I know because I set the price, but the results we get our clients are freaking way more than what we charge. And that's the ticket, guys, is you can charge whatever you want as long as you're getting the result, so.
Absolutely. I want to have a follow-up question based on that because the DMC, truly speaking, I was setting up a goal to get into the DMC, but I was a beginner at that time, was making like $3,000 to $5,000 here and there. And on top of, I was not ready. My friend D Green was the one who joined you. And he mentioned about you that he joined your program and all. But the question here is like, what's the one thing that you noticed that DMC or any of your program that did you to your business that you didn't expect at that time? Like what's the maybe major something happened?
Wait, what's the question? The question is what now?
So what's the one thing your business did that you didn't expect?
Oh, okay. I didn't expect people that hated me to buy from me. I did not expect that. So I cannot tell you the amount of people that said that I've got emails from who said, Dan, I didn't really like you at first. I didn't like your ads. They were obnoxious. And you're right. They are, but that's what won the split test. So what do you want me to do? They said, I said something offensive, which I do because I speak my mind. I'd rather say something than nothing at all. And sometimes I find stuff, or I say stuff that is offensive, which is not very difficult to do in this day and age. But that's my opinion. And so I say it. And they said, but you know what? I realized that you're really good at what you do. And so I bought your stuff anyway, and I made all this money, yada, yada, yada. And that was a really cool thing to see because, you know, it's one thing to sell. They always say like people buy from people they like, and that's cool. But it's another thing when you're so good at sales and you've developed your craft so much that you can sell to people that dislike you. So that was something I did not expect. And you know, I just personally, it makes me even more excited to learn more and more about my craft, marketing and sales. And I love marketing and sales because sales is everything. You want to get your kids to eat their vegetables. You want to convince somebody to go out on a date with you, get married, get a late checkout at a hotel, give you money. It's all sales. It's everything's a pitch. Everything's a pitch. And so the quicker you get better at sales, the quicker your life will be better.
Wow, amazing. That's great. And what's the one thing that you recommend to people to start and stop doing when it comes to closing more high ticket sales?
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Let's get into it. Okay. So here's the thing. When you're selling something, and I see that there's comments here. So
a lot of them.
Here's the deal. There's a lot of things, but one thing is this. You have to remember that nobody believes you. You are a slimy salesperson. You are the gunk on the bottom of their shoe. You are one step above or below a lawyer. You suck. Nobody's going to believe what you say. So why try to do that? One thing I tell salespeople or people that sell their own offer, try not to say a declarative statement on a call. Don't say my product is great. Don't say we've been in business this many years. Don't say if you use this, you'll be successful. Never say that. Instead, get the prospect to say it because the prospect, people believe what they say, not what you say. So why try to say anything? Here's what I do. Hey, our product, let me give you an example. I'll pitch my closed deals offer, which is called the Daily Sales Huddle, in two ways, the wrong way and the right way. You ready?
Yep.
Here's the wrong way. Here's the wrong way. So if you work with us at Closed Deals, we're going to massively increase your sales. We're going to coach you every single day. We're going to make sure that you have daily support on overcoming objections, and you'll have a daily meeting, and every single day you're going to get daily support from our enterprise level sales team, and you're going to sell more. You're going to sell way more because we have all these clients and they've sold more, and we have so many testimonials, and we're just amazing. No, what you say is great salespeople do two things. They train daily and they surround themselves with people better than them. Most enterprise level sales teams do so well because they have enterprise level support. They have a daily meeting they can jump on every single day, get support for overcoming objections, reviewing their calls, keeping their mindset on track, keeping their KPIs and their targets on track. They have this support. Mm-hmm. And my question to you is, if you, the small entrepreneur, if you sell your own offer or you have a sales team or you want to build one, if you or your sales team had access to enterprise level training and support every single day, how many more deals do you think you would close? Do you think you would close a lot more deals? Okay. Or I would say, what's the number one thing that's holding you back from more sales? I don't know how to overcome objections. If you had daily support to our enterprise level sales managers who could help you with every single call, overcome that objection, know what to say next, how many more deals do you think you would close? I close many more deals. I double my sales. Okay. Well, fantastic, because we've created that solution. We've created a program called the Daily Sales Huddle. Well, either you or your salespeople can jump on and we give them daily support. And then I might say, and here's another thing. Again, wrong way. The problem is most courses or coaching programs, you get support for 6 weeks or 12 weeks, and then you're done. You learn knowledge and then you're done. And if you work with us, we'll give you daily support. No, what you would say is, and you could say it almost the same way, but it's a very important distinction. The problem with most coaching programs is you get support one time or for 6 weeks or for 12 weeks, and then you're done. Knowledge does not make you successful. Habitualized knowledge does. In other words, making what you learned a habit. And so my question to you is this: instead of just getting help one time or for a limited time, how much more would your business grow if you had it every day? If you had an assigned time every day when you could talk to world-class sales coaches every day, and you had that support every day, how much more would your business make? And you let them say it, okay? You let them, and they say, oh, so much more. Why? Because they're saying it. They're the ones saying their business would grow. You ain't saying shit. And then you say, well, that's what we offer. Do you have any questions? Do you have any objections? When are you ready to get started? Like, you let them say it. That's such an important distinction.
Right there, that's a diamond nugget, not just a gold nugget. People who are listening to this or watching, this is amazing, man. What you did. I was watching one of your live I think in 2020 when I started my journey, and you asked this question, that this question everyone should ask in an interview. So I want to ask this question to you, Dan. What's one question you wish I would have asked you, and how would you have answered it?
I love that question. What's one question? Yes, that's the best question you can ask. Well, considering your audience is all like coaches and people that sell high ticket, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd probably say one of the biggest struggles they have is overcoming an objection, right? So I guess I'd ask, what's your best tip to overcome objections on a sales call?
What is it?
Okay, so here it is. So when people have an objection, when they say something, it's almost never what they're thinking. Are you married, Sahil?
Yep. Yep.
If your wife seems off and you say, honey, is something wrong? And she says, no, everything's fine. Is everything fine?
Not exactly.
No, it's not. But wait a minute. She said everything's fine. So it must be fine. No. So here's the thing. On a sales call, if someone gives you an objection, let me give you an example. How many here, let me know in the comments, how many people here have ever got the following objection on a sales call? This all sounds great, but I bought products like this before and I haven't got the results I wanted. What makes you any different? Has anyone got this objection? Have you got this objection, Sahil?
A lot of time. And I know the answer as well because I have watched your so many lives and all.
Okay. Now, I would ask you how you would handle it, but if you've read my book, you probably know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have great effects. Okay. Can I see in the chat how you guys would handle it? Like, what would you say? Okay. Here is how you handle this objection. Most people would say, well, we've been in business this many years. We have this many testimonials. We're great because of this or that. Guess what? That's the worst thing you can say because they don't care. They don't care about that. Here's what's happening. When a customer says something like that, they are thinking of a specific event, a traumatic event that happened with a previous purchase. That's what they're thinking about. But they're not telling you that. They're just saying, I've got problems, blah, 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 blah. And so what you need to say is, first, you need to validate and let them know that you're listening. I understand you've bought programs like this before, and you haven't got the results that you were looking for. Totally get it. Can I ask, what specifically happened? Or what did you go through specifically when you bought those products that you think caused you to not get those results? Now, what they're going to do is they're going to tell you the exact traumatic event that happened. And let's just say that, I don't know, let's say they say, well, I bought this program and I thought I was going to get more support, but I only had one call a month and I never even got my question answered. Well, if you know that your program has one call a week and you always answer every question, then here's what you say. Okay, I understand, and pay attention to this. I understand that you bought programs in the past, you only got one monthly call, and the person, the guru or whatever, the coach, did not even get to your question. And that's terrible. Let me ask you, if you had a program that had a weekly call, not a monthly call, and that every single time you got on that call, you were guaranteed to have your question answered, they never skipped you, do you think you would get far better results? Oh, yes, I would get far better results. Great. Well, you asked me what the difference was between those programs and ours. That is the difference. We do a weekly call and we make it a policy to answer every single question. This is a literal close that we used back when I charged $10,000 for what's inside Legacy University. Keep in mind, we did about $15 million on that one offer. And that objection came up all the time, and that's how we handled it. It's because instead of addressing a bunch of crap they don't care about, you're addressing the specific thing that they have a problem with that they ain't telling you. And then you simply say, great, do you have any other objections? And then you move to the next one and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again until you get the credit card. That's it. It's very, very simple. But the problem is that you can know this, but being able to do this, remember to do this and do it fluidly every time, it doesn't take knowledge, it takes practice. If you are a boxer, no world champion boxer learns to box and then goes sits on their ass and doesn't train boxing. No, they train every day and then they go win the title. The problem with most entrepreneurs is they'll learn a sales process or they'll learn a marketing process or whatever, then they'll just go sit on their ass and then they'll try to do it and it won't work. It's because you need daily drilling, daily training. My partner over at Closed Deals, he has a great analogy for this because he used to be in the military. And he says, listen, we all know how to shoot guns, right? We know how our gun works, but we do daily gun drills. And the reason we do that is because it's not enough to know how to shoot a gun. It has to be second nature, because when bullets fly over your head and shit gets real, what you know goes out the window and what you have left is second nature. It's the same thing on a sales call. You might know how to overcome an objection, but when it actually happens on a sales call, if you haven't drilled it consistently every day or some form of it, it's not going to be second nature. You don't need to think. You shouldn't be thinking on a sales call. You should just be doing. You should be acting as a natural reaction. The only way to do that is to train it daily, just like anything else in life. I practice daily. Our clients, we help them practice daily. That's the key. And so I'll give you one more example, a non-sales example, so you don't just think I'm pitching my shit. Let's say you want to get good at storytelling, right?
Yeah.
I find a way to tell a story every day to keep my skills sharp. Here's a little, would you like me to teach you a little exercise to create great marketing analogies? Here's what you do. You take a normal household object, anything, just look for something. Okay. This right here is a lens cover to my camera. Okay. It's a lens cover. All right. So this is the first thing I saw. So the goal here is to create some sort of marketing analogy with this object. Now, the point here is that if you do it every day, you'll get good at it. Not all of them will be good, but if you do it 7 times in a week and just 1 or 2 of them are good, that 1 or 2 good analogies that you could put in a challenge, in an email, in a webinar, on a speech, could make you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. So this right here, here's how I would do this. I would say, and this is off the top of my head, I would say, you know why it's so important to keep a lens cover on your lens? It's because lenses, some of them cost thousands of dollars. I have CP2 lenses that cost $5,000, $6,000 each. And these lenses are very fragile. They get scratched easy. When they get scratched and they get dusty and they get messed up and they get smudged, when you go to take pictures with this incredibly valuable camera that someone has built, the pictures don't come out great. And it's the same thing with your business. If you have built this amazing business that can produce tons of money, if you don't protect it and it starts to get scratched, it starts to get smudged, that same business that has produced for you in the past will start producing less and less. It will start producing a blurrier and blurrier image until eventually what you've built doesn't produce the same and your pictures suck. And in your business, you spent all this time building what you've built, but you're not protecting it. How do you protect it? Well, you protect it from the number one thing that costs all businesses to go down, and that is lost sales. The number one expense in your business is lost sales. And so in order to protect your business from lost sales, you have to have a lens cap in place to every day consistently protect your business from lost sales. The reason why you always put the lens cap on is because it always needs to be on in order to protect your camera. Just like you need to always have sales training and support to protect your business daily from lost sales. And we've created that at Close Deals, blah, blah, blah. And then I go into that, right? So right there, I just did it from a lens cap. That could be an ad, that could be an email, that could be a reel, whatever. And I do that. I do it 2 to 3 times a day. My girlfriend, it drives her nuts, right? Because I'll be like, hey, blah, blah. She'll be like, you know, but I do it because that's how you get good. People say, oh, you're a great copywriter, Dan. You're a great story. Well, yeah, I train it every day. That's why. And some of my analogies are terrible, but I just toss them. But when you do it 2 to 3 times a day, you come out with some pretty good stuff. So that right there is a little golden secret. You want to get good at stuff, do it every day, and realize that a lot of it's going to suck, but you plug out the good stuff and you can build build an amazing business.
That's brilliant, man. Somebody commented, it's not an interview, it's a coaching. Thank you. You have already gone over and beyond, man, with the time that we promised. Last question, I just want to say, any last message again for the buddy entrepreneurs out there? People are just bombarding the comment here.
Yeah, I see the comments. I like it. I don't mind going over. So you know, parting advice, okay? It's this. Here's an interesting experiment. Take a sheet of paper or just type it out, maybe put it in the comments. Think of the top 3 reasons you give when you're the top 3 objections that you give when you're considering buying an expensive product. Just think about it in your head, write it down, put it in the comments. What are the 3 things you always say when you're thinking about buying a big product, right? Now, think about the top 3 objections you get when somebody is trying to buy your product. Think of that. Mm-hmm. What you might find is that those objections are quite similar. And the reason for that is you buy like you sell and you sell like you buy. So, for instance, give you a completely different analogy, right? Let's say that you are a man and you want to meet a high value woman. You want to meet a woman who is classy. You want to meet a woman who isn't like a bar fly, doesn't get drunk every night. You want to meet a nice, classy, you're looking for your wife. However, when you go to meet them, you look like shit. Your hair's not combed. You smell. You don't talk with any sort of articulation. You talk with like slang that makes you sound like you're 14. Are you going to attract a classy woman? Yes or no?
No.
No, right? It's because you get what you are. You attract what you are. So if you are a cheap fucker, you're going to attract cheap fuckers. If you always have to talk to your wife first, you're going to attract people who always need to talk to their wife first, and you're not going to know how to get over it. For instance, how many of you here sell something, but you've never bought something like you sell? Think about this. If you take 2 people who have 0 sales knowledge and 0 sales training, and you say, sell this product, one person has bought and used the product, the other person has not. Who is going to sell it better? The person that bought the product. Why? Not only do they know the product, but they took the leap to buy it, to invest in it. It's very difficult to convince somebody to take a leap that you haven't taken. You want to get somebody to jump off of a cliff diving? Who's going to convince them more? The person who has already jumped or the person who's never jumped? And that's the thing is, if you are living in a world where you want to charge $5,000, $10,000 for your coaching and you've never spent that, and you don't regularly invest that, and you always need to talk to your wife and you don't have the time, you're not going to attract people like you, because you are a cheap bastard. So you're going to attract cheap bastards. Okay. One more example for you. Babe Ruth. Okay. Many people say he is the greatest baseball player of all time. However, he hasn't hit the most home runs. He hasn't won the most championships, and he hasn't stole the most bases. So why do people still think he's the greatest baseball player of all time? I'll tell you why. It's because he did what he did, although much less than modern baseball players. He did it in a time when the conditions were not ideal, when they didn't play as many games, when they didn't have a professional massage therapist that massaged them every day, when they didn't fly in a private jet to every game. When he literally did it in a time when the resources were slim. And he is regarded as the greatest baseball player, not because of what he's done, because of what he did with what he had, which was very little. He was resourceful. And you do not get credit for succeeding in times of triumph. You get credit for succeeding in times of struggle. So if you don't know how to be resourceful, if you don't know how to find the money, then when you talk to a prospect, how are you going to inspire them to be resourceful? How are you going to inspire them to find the money? You're not. So the first sale is always you. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe in the act of investing. You have to believe in the act of being resourceful. You have to believe in the act of finding the time. And the only way to believe in that is to do it. And when you can do it and you believe in it, you can attract and persuade people to do it as well. Tag. Think, act, get. You think like a millionaire, then you act like a millionaire, then you get the things a millionaire has. And that's the advice that I
Love
would
it,
give.
man. Love it. That's so brilliant. And people who want to get more resources, where do they can get some more information?
Yeah, so you can go to closedeals.com. There you can find, there's a link to my book, The Pocket Guide to High Ticket Selling. You can schedule a call if you want us to build you a sales team or help. At Close Deals, we work with people who sell a high ticket product that costs $5,000 or more, and you're taking at least 5 sales calls per week currently. If you are that person, we can absolutely help you crush it with sales. Go book a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you about how we can do that. If you aren't at that level yet, then you need to click on Sahil's link, Go Get Legacy University, and that will get you there. Just what it does, remember who helped you, and then go become a client of ours at Close Deals.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to be dropping all the links in the show notes. Thank you once again, Dan, for doing this. It's been an amazing, one of the best episode. I can say that we did it. And people
I'd
who
love
were
to do
watching.
it again. I love your questions. You got great questions. Some people ask me bullshit questions. You had good questions. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you for that. And people who are watching or listening, we'll be coming with another episode very soon. Till then, stay tuned. We'll take care and see you soon. Bye.